Hey, it's Dave Z with The Leverage Agent. Today I am going to show you how I list homes virtually, or at least do my first meeting with the seller via Zoom and avoid driving to the house, having to get them ready to clean up. And I'm going to show you how this is going to land 90+% of your appointments into signed contracts. So let's dive into it. One, why do we want to list virtually? For me, it's because I want to be able to travel and still do real estate. So you've been following me, and if you're on my blog and if you're looking at my content, you know my model is the remote agent model. We want to be able to do business anywhere on the planet, and that allows you to have that freedom. So for me, it's with my kids, it's travel, and I still want to deliver high level value to my sellers and not have to wait till I get back in town. And then I don't even have to tell them I'm out of town. So let's look at what are the key steps you're going to need to do this. Well, step one, obviously you have to have a great virtual listing presentation. I'm going to give you a copy of mine. So stay tuned, watch this video. I'm going to give you a chance to click and download my listing presentation that I've used to list about 700 houses here in the Scottsdale, Arizona market. So step one, good virtual presentation. Step two, what allows me to get to this is my pitch, if you want to call it, or my sales on the phone to a prospect. When somebody says, I want to list my home, and we're getting into that, and they ultimately want me to come out to the house, I flip it back and say, well, let's do this first. Let's go through what your odds of selling are, what 6 different ways we can sell your property, and what you would net if we were to do it. And let's see if that's even worth coming to this point. Like, let's just see if it's worth coming out to your house. A lot of people are surprised to hear that, and they actually like it. Most people would prefer to know this up front. And I'll say, listen, in your market, 30% of the homes don't sell. And I bet had the sellers gone through this process, they may not have even listed their house. In fact, I just told somebody the other day, don't list your house based on the data. So it's going to come across to your clients as very serving to them, not serving to you, that you're going to take the time to go through this data and you're going to be very prepared for that meeting versus just coming out to the house. So get good at that script of why should we do this via Zoom? You're going to throw out things like your odds of selling, your 6 different ways of listing with me, and then what you would walk away with depending on which route you choose. But I really want to focus on this data first, the science, then we'll focus on the house. All right, so step 3, have a menu of services. So when people ask me to sell their house, I'll tell them, listen, I've been doing this 20 years. I've sold over 1,000 homes. There's about 6 ways we can do this. I'd like you to know all 6 ways. You may not even be considering some of them, but I think it's important you understand them. So let's go through those really quickly. 1, traditional MLS listing. This is what every other realtor does, puts it on the MLS. You're gonna go through the pros and cons. Step 2, how about we sell it to a hedge fund buyer? And in Phoenix, we've got Open Door, OfferPad. There's national companies like Easy Street and Orchid and Knock and all these companies that would buy your home. Homeward, HomeLight, we go through that. Option 3, fix and flip or a wholesaler. Option 4 is a unique option that I offer. It's like a joint venture fix and flip. How about I take my experience of fix and flipping houses and then put that into your home with my cash, my trades, we do it, and then you'll make a lot more when you sell. Plus you have a really nice remodeled house to show off to your family and friends. Maybe there's people who live across the country who've never seen your house. And when you go put it up on Zillow, you have a brand new kitchen, brand new flooring. They're kind of impressed with your house. We can do that. That's option 4. Option 5 is creative financing. What if we could sell your home with your existing interest rate and it's assumable, or we can do a wrap, something where you play bank. I like to say, hey, what if you played Wells Fargo and you just made the money like the bank was making off of you? The point of me doing this is to get them to think about things they hadn't thought about, see me as a true advisor, somebody who's not just your standard agent. This is what helps you list more properties. And then I've actually bought houses because of this. I became their cash buyer. I became the person that took over their mortgage. So if it's a great deal for everybody, you can create some win-wins. But again, you're focusing on how we're doing this instead of me driving out to the house. Option 6, I say, is always for sale by owner. You could always do this by yourself. So have those 6 options listed out and actually show the pros and cons. When I'm on Zoom, I'll annotate and I'll actually draw their ARV, the after repaired value of what I think you'll get from the house. You'll get 92 here, 75% here, 65% here. I think we can get you 105% here. And I've seen people get 125% when they sell their mortgage, right? So show them what they would actually make, show them the odds. If you're not sure how to calculate your odds, I want you to look at a resource called Focus First. Focus First is a great software that allows you to clearly show that your seller has a 64% chance of selling, and then that's how we're going to list the property. The next thing you're going to want to do is obviously go through the market, show them your marketing, why you're the best fit, have that all out in your digital presentation, and then show them the net sheet and get them from a state of confusion maybe to narrow down to one or two. So in my listing presentation, we're going to really hang out in that options area till we clearly define 2 options. I don't want them to think about 4. We're going to cross out the ones that they don't want. Sometimes we spend 20 minutes in that slide. Which ones do we really want to do? And this is the first time they're talking about it. But get them to narrow it down to 2, and then that gives you some homework. So what I usually end up saying is, okay, based on where we're at, we like the odds of selling. You're kind of between option 4 and option 1. Why don't we do this? Why don't I have my contractor come out there and we're going to look at everything in the house that we might remodel. We'll get quotes on it and we'll kind of do a mini home inspection, and then we'll work up what the 2 different figures would be. That really, it keeps them on you if you're interviewing, right? They've got other agents coming in who are just going to give them a list price and here's the CMA. You've now put them in a different mode where they're really considering the different options and how you're such a different agent than everybody else they're going to be talking to. So leave them with a net sheet of those 2 possibilities. And I usually say, I'm not going to know this net sheet until we can get back all of the bids from the contractor. Let's just see if it's worth it. And what I have found is, I did this last week with somebody. They were getting ready to sign paperwork with one agent. And when I talked to them about this, they canceled their appointment, had me come out. We actually ran through a cash buyer sequence with 2 different companies to see if they can buy first, sell second. And we found out they couldn't. They weren't eligible. There wasn't enough equity in the home. But by the end of that process, both the husband and wife told me separately, we really like you. We were going with that person, but you had us think differently. We're going to use you. Now they're going to have buying, selling. So me throwing out options actually got me the appointment when they said, nope, thanks for reaching out. I think they did a home evaluation on my website. They go, no, we're good. We're going to sign listing paperwork. As I dug a little bit deeper, I was able to interject my options, and that slowed them down, had a meeting with me, and they flat out said, boy, you're a little bit different than everybody we talked to. To sum it up, what that's going to do, that's going to get you to be able to list remotely, to offer more value, to differentiate yourself, and hopefully get a 90+% success rate when you list. That's what I've been able to enjoy. And a lot of times we just don't list right now because we understand the data, but they're going to see you as a true advisor. So if this is helpful, download my listing presentation, take a look at those options, make it your own. You can totally rip it off and duplicate it, but I hope this allows you to control your time a little bit better and to win more listings. Dave Z, Leverage Agent.